ready. Monday Night Raw.
Welcome to episode 77, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm Kevin Hawk.
I'm Travis Colt.
I'm not.
So how did you feel about Monday Night Raw?
What was that thing I said earlier?
That you didn't watch last week's.
No, when we were watching. Oh yeah, so like, Raw, from an internal standpoint.
Yes. It was a mess.
Yeah, like, this show was not planned well.
It's like they went into Raw with only having an hour and 40 minutes worth of stuff planned. Because they had to make up 3 matches on the fly to fill up the last part of Raw.
Whoever was writing Raw was like, we're only 2 hours, right? No, we're 3 every week. Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
And
Another
like, hour and a half to write.
And like, I'm okay with the internal logic of like, we need... These 2 guys got in a fight, so we need to throw them in a match tonight. That'll be our main event now. But then you even had the segment with Charlotte and Becky, where Becky's like, hey, let's go ask if we can have a match. The show's halfway over.
Shouldn't they have a plan already?
The show's already halfway over, and they get a match because they go to the Authority and ask.
All right, Hawk, what was your overall feeling of Monday Night Raw?
I agree with a lot of what he was saying, only because he said it and it brought it to my attention today. That's absolutely correct.
That Raw was a fucking mess?
Just the whole writing or... the premise of like, why was there enough room to have 3 impromptu matches added on? But it's okay because that's wrestling and that's how it works. No, it was good though. It was. I feel like they're really, really honest, given attempt to make up for the fact that last week was pretty shitty.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely off to a better start this week than they were last week because they already had the Survivor Series debacle, and then Raw was just fucking out of this goddamn world. So they've definitely started themselves on what could potentially save them for this next month, leading into what we're already in we're almost to Mania season now.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous to think about.
Jesus Christ.
Next month is the Royal Rumble.
I'm going to be honest with how bad Survivor Series was booked. This one pretty good Raw made me more excited for TLC than I was for Survivor Series. Already.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like now, the way of thinking of it, is that like WWE writing, I almost feel like they got kind of lazy.
Yeah.
And all this negative backlash, they're like, oh, we need to get our shit together all of a sudden. Like, because they had
everyone came to the realization, Sheamus is champion. We need to do something.
Like, they came to the realization that even like Mick Foley posted this weekend that if things didn't shape up, that from here for the next foreseeable future, like, he's going to be passing up Raw to watch football every Monday.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about the 2 smaller storylines that have kind of flourished here, which are probably going to be big highlights for Mick Foley specifically. First, you were talking about Becky Lynch and Charlotte asking for a match because the only actual Divas match that was scheduled is we had Sasha Banks versus Brie Bella, which was a great match. Yeah. Sasha Banks picking up the win with some help from Team Bad. But Becky wanted a shot to try and...
quick side to the Team Bad match.
Yeah.
They did a really fun promo before the match.
Yeah.
Which...
About unity.
Yeah, it didn't like...
Unity!
It didn't build anything, but it made them shine as characters, which is really important.
I feel like a lot of people got a chance to do that on this Raw, too. There was a lot of really good mic work that helped push storylines. So yeah, a great match between Sasha and Brie, but Becky wanted a chance to, just to show the world that there's more than just, their focus on Paige. Yeah. She wanted to have just a good one-on-one match with her friend Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, okay, we'll go to the Authority, we'll ask about it, but hey, once it's over, we gotta go have a good time because my dad's in town. Ric Flair was there, which was cool. And Charlotte and Becky had a fucking killer match. With Paige at commentary, and it kind of got a little wonky at the end because we're all kind of trying to figure out what direction this is going, because Charlotte ends up faking an ankle injury which then turns into Ric Flair trying to get up on the apron, Becky's trying to knock him down, and then Charlotte rolling up Becky for the win.
Yeah.
And Becky's pissed because she's like, "What was that?
You cheated."
And
then Charlotte's like, I didn't cheat. I tricked you into lowering your guard.
yeah, which is true.
Yeah.
Because she didn't cheat, she just rolled her up, which is completely legal.
Yeah. She didn't. Look, you didn't break the letter of the law, but you broke the spirit. Okay?
You broke the spirit, Charlotte. What the hell's wrong with you? What are your thoughts, Hawk?
The main thing about it is, I thought it was something that was completely inevitable by WWE standards. And this is another thing that, Foley said in his blog that he put out, was that WWE likes to repeat shit as much as they can until things have to change.
Right.
And I'm feeling like the idea is that, listening to different interviews and things that Charlotte has done and talked about is how she didn't want to be Ric Flair version 2.
Yeah.
Just because she's Ric Flair's daughter. And for them to move exactly in that same direction, making her, as soon as they move her up to the main roster, they give her her little moment where she can still win the Divas Championship, and now she's becoming Ric Flair version 2.
Yeah.
It bugs me, because it's a lot of these second generation superstars now are all trying to thrive off the fact that they're not just the younger version of their father.
Yeah, that's the trap that a lot of them fall into. Like even Curtis Axel, they tried to make him steer completely clear of being the son of Mr. Perfect by calling him Michael McGillicuddy.
Mr. Mediocre.
And then they're like, okay, now we're gonna have you pay homage to your family and call you Curtis Axel. And that worked for a while, and then it kind of fell apart. So, do you think it's gonna
Axelmania, brother?
Do you think this is gonna help Charlotte?
No.
No, not at all.
I think a feud with Becky could help Charlotte.
I think a feud with Becky could help Becky.
Without a doubt.
I'm all for it if it keeps Becky being a main person
involved.
Sure. Because the fact that she's probably been the most overlooked. If you look at the 9 people who were in this Divas Revolution storyline, the 3 teams of 3, she's definitely probably the most overpassed person on the list.
Right, because on that team specifically, Paige was already established, so you can't really overlook Paige, and then Charlotte was obviously the one that they had all their attention on.
Yeah.
And then all the other girls got their own little bits and pieces along the way. Yeah, Becky's definitely fallen by the wayside as far as all the Divas are concerned.
So, the point is, we could get great matches out of this. I think that the great matches could elevate the storyline of the division. A personal feud between Becky and Charlotte could elevate everything. But they need to do something different with Charlotte's character if they want her to stand on her own.
Right. Final thoughts, or you agree? Or a combination of the two?
I agree with the idea that she has to do something else to stand on her own, because that's kind of like what the Divas need to have, because it's the Divas Revolution. They're trying to do their own shtick.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you have one of them immediately going, well, I'm second generation, so I'm going to copy the guy who came before me, you're already taking a half a step back.
Yeah.
And I think all it does is, especially if it's really wishy-washy, and she's like, oh, I did something that's mean, but we're still friends, I think it just kind of adds, cloudiness into what's going on.
They could maybe save it if they had her try and do that wishy-washy thing, and then, end up with no friends, and then realize, oh, I fucked up.
I hope that's the example. I fucked up. I hope that's how she
and then, she
I want WWE to allow people to cuss again, but whenever they bleep it out, they have to bleep it out, but it's always, woo!
Okay. No,
I can't do it.
She wooed up.
I wooed up.
You wooed up.
Anyway.
You wooed up. Oh, next time we go to a show.
Yeah.
You wooed up.
Yeah.
All All right, so the other storyline that kind of flourished here is after Bubba got put through the table last week by the Wyatt family, the Dudleys called out the Wyatt family.
Yeah, they cut a killer promo.
They walked down the ring. Each of them had a table in hand. They set them up on the outside, and then they had 4 other tables that were covered in the ring. And Bubba had a fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that they had set up that one table they came out with in the ring. Or, I mean, around the ring.
Yeah.
Because I watched them walk out carrying the table, and then they got into the ring. And I'm like, what? The table wasn't covered up. Why they covered up the table? Like, why they put a blanket on it? And how did it multiply?
There was.
And why was there a sumo table?
There was one in front of the commentary table, and then one on the hard camera side, and then there was 4 covered up in the ring.
Yeah.
Bubba did a fantastic promo talking about how, hey, you got the better of the Dudleys once, but guess what? You didn't finish the job. We're still standing. We got Devon giving us the 3 commandments, which are always great in a Dudley's promo.
Yeah.
And they were calling out the Wyatts for a match. They didn't really specify what type of match. It was just, hey, come out here and fight us, pretty much. Bray Wyatt took the offer and said, absolutely, okay, here we... Oh, by the way, all the Dudleys unveiled all the tables, and each one had a Wyatt family member's name on it.
The big one being Strowman.
Yeah, they had a double wide for Strowman. Bray Wyatt, he accepts the challenge, and he goes, okay, yeah, the 2 of you can face, my 3 brothers. We get a little screen warp thing, which has all the members but Wyatt go right up against the ring. Wyatt still...
Which took way too long, by the way, for the fact that, I would have understood if it took that long and they were in the ring.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were still, 4 steps away from the ring.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt's still up on the stage, and Bubba starts laughing, and he goes, look at you. Look at you. You're right there, and, you think you have the upper hand here. You think it's going to be a 3-on-2. Well, you've got your family, and we've got ours. And then this music starts playing. And then
it's kind of unfamiliar.
Yeah, I've never heard it before. The crowd's losing their mind, and Michael Cole is saying, "Could it be? Could it be?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't recognize this theme music, but it's Tommy fucking Dreamer.
That guy
with a trash can. Yeah, this guy right in the middle with a trash can full of all kinds of weapons and shit, and he's joining up.
Kendo sticks.
Yeah, kendo sticks and crutches, and I think there might have been a cookie sheet in there or something. But yeah. Fucking an extreme trio to take on the Wyatts.
Yeah.
A 6-man tag match.
This is honestly the coolest thing to amp up the crowd to go against the Wyatts since the Shield versus the Wyatts.
Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of people online were expecting Spike, and I think most people were, especially when the Dudleys talk about family. Spike is obviously the first person that comes to mind. For you, it might be Joel Gertner. I don't know.
They're not related. I was just thinking sign guy Dudley. Dances with Dudley?
Sure.
Big Dick Dudley? He's dead.
He's dead. They had a knockdown. They had a brawl. It was just it started as a match.
Dreamer, when he hit the ring, he broke a kendo stick over Strowman's arm.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Holy shit! Yeah, and Strowman felt it too.
Yeah.
He's like grabbing his arm up until they cut away to the commercial.
God, I'm glad this beard masks my pain face.
Yeah, my pain face. And it was good for what it was. It was kind of impromptu. Again, impromptu.
Yeah. That's another match that wasn't planned.
It just kind of happened because the Dudleys threw out a challenge.
At least this one was fairly early in the show.
And this could have at least been scheduled as the Dudleys have a segment.
Yeah. It could have been. The Dudleys have a challenge for the Wyatt family. You just don't know what it is.
Still, though, it's another unplanned match.
Yeah. But so this breaks down into a brawl, goes to a no contest, just everyone fighting everybody, and eventually the Wyatts get the better of the Dudleys. They beat the Dudleys down. They've got
Strowman choked Dreamer out.
Yeah, and
Dreamer.
And so they go out. Bray tells them to go get one of the tables. There's one of the tables that the Dudleys brought out set up. They try and get that in the ring, and while they're doing that, Bubba decides to just pop up and shove Bray Wyatt off the apron through the other table.
Yeah.
And the Wyatt family freaks the fuck out.
They all bail to check on Bray.
Yeah, which allows the Dudleys and
He went
Dreamer
in butt first, and that's where his powers emanate from, is
Yeah.
his butt.
in his ass.
Yeah, so they all had to check on and make sure his ass was okay. So he still had all his powers.
when he sits in his rocking chair, is that his like charger?
Pretty much.
God, this is weird. But yeah, this allows the Dudleys and Tommy Dreamer to get away without getting beat down too much more. Where do you see this going? Are you hoping Tommy sticks around, or do you want more ECW guys to show up?
So I'm hoping Tommy sticks around, and they bring in more ECW guys. Just one more. Just 4-on-4.
RVD.
Yeah, RVD.
RVD probably has the best relationship with WWE.
Yeah, considering he's come back a couple times already.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a whole bevy of people I would love to see show up.
And there's probably a group of people that would be like, one match in WWE? Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I just hope we get TLC, we get 4-on-4. Make it call it a hardcore match. Don't call it Extreme Rules. Don't call it call it a hardcore match. And you know what? Let's get Paul Heyman back to announce it with him and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. I'm
I
so
think
okay with that.
Get Joey Styles to come in and do commentary.
Yeah.
Yes. Please do this. This would be fantastic. Where do you see it going?
I think it's going to be the tables match.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be strictly Wyatts and Dudleys, or we gonna keep Tommy?
I could see it being Bray out of the equation for the match, potentially, or maybe kind of doing what they did at Survivor Series and keeping Strowman off to the side.
Okay.
So they can save the big table spot for him with his big double wide table.
Yeah.
But I see it being the tables match. I definitely think Tommy's going to stick around for at least one more appearance.
Well, I mean, next Monday is the go-home show to TLC.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I'd love to see anybody: Van Dam, Sandman, Sabu, Raven, Spike.
Yeah. No, I think it would definitely be cool if maybe this was maybe this was Dreamer's one-off, and then next week they're gonna bring someone else
me in
out.
the head that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Who punched you in the head?
Rhino.
Rhino.
Fuck you, Rhino.
He's in the company still.
He's right.
He is right. No, I was actually when they were playing the music.
I didn't even think about Rhino.
Or when they were announcing we have family. Rhino was the first one I expected.
Really?
Well, for that reason.
Okay.
He makes appearances on NXT.
I've seen him very recently.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
He was the freshest on my mind.
Right.
And I was also thinking possibly Colin Delaney.
Yeah, because that'll totally happen.
Plus,
and Armando
I would
Estrada.
absolutely love to see Rhino mix it up with Strowman.
Oh. I think. Okay, I'm into
I just want to see Rhino gore him and just bounce off of him.
That's exactly what would happen. Alright, let's talk about the big storyline that happened here. So we opened with the New Day celebrating with Sheamus being champion. Good for him, blah, blah, blah. Sheamus said some stuff. And then he was celebrating. There was confetti falling the whole fucking time. Sheamus started celebrating. There was lots of pyro.
WWE has went over their confetti budget.
And their pyro budget, too. Just the beginning of this show, they shot off probably more pyro than they did at Survivor Series.
Well, this show was better than Survivor Series.
True. Yeah. No, I think maybe, not that they didn't go over their confetti budget, but it was like...
They didn't hit their quota?
Yeah, no, that's it. They're like, guys, at the beginning of the year, we've set aside so much money for confetti, and we haven't used any of it yet.
Yeah, they'll cut our confetti funding next year if we don't.
Yeah, they're like, shit. Let's throw giant piles of confetti at Survivor Series, and then a week later, more piles of confetti.
Totally makes sense.
That's the thing that I just realized. They should have just taken this Raw and moved it to last week.
Yes.
I mean,
everything last week should not have happened.
Everything except for the Dudley segment would have fit perfectly if you just moved it last week.
Yeah. Absolutely. So while he's celebrating, he ends up getting down, turns around, and gets punched in the face by Roman Reigns, who then steals the title and takes off.
Yeah.
And backstage, Triple H and Stephanie give him back.
Yeah, he's hanging out with
the Usos. Wanted to hold it.
Yeah, the Usos and Dean Ambrose are hanging out with Roman Reigns. And Triple H is like, okay, you gotta give it back. And he doesn't hand it to Triple H, he hands it to Stephanie instead.
Well, he starts to hand it to Triple H, and he's like,
yeah. He gives it to Stephanie. And then they tell Roman that Sheamus is like, you know what, I don't want to wait. I'm going to defend my title against Roman Reigns
huge
tonight.
Because they're getting a world title match.
The caveat being, Sheamus, ending Roman Reigns' title reign in 5 minutes and 15 seconds, Roman Reigns would have to defeat Sheamus in less than 5 minutes and 15 seconds in order to win the championship. And not only that, but we'd find out later that, so we'll talk about, we had Usos versus Lucha Dragons, which went to a double DQ because of outside interference from the New Day.
It was a number one contenders match.
Yeah.
So basically, Steph decided to make it, let's have the Lucha Dragons and the Usos both get the title shot, but Usos only get to have the title shot if Roman Reigns beats Sheamus.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Dean Ambrose winning the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title on SmackDown. If Roman Reigns was unsuccessful against Sheamus tonight, Dean Ambrose would also lose his championship match at TLC. So there's a lot weighing on Roman Reigns.
And The Rock will only get his next movie role if Roman Reigns can beat Sheamus.
So much on the shoulders of Roman Reigns.
I know, man. I'm so stoked for the game plan too.
And Bernie Sanders will only get the presidential vote if Roman Reigns can beat Sheamus in 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Fuck politics.
God damn it, Roman Reigns beat his ass.
So this match happens in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Beginning of the last hour.
And so, the match is going. We're down to about 46 seconds. Roman's, trying real hard. He's getting ready to set up for the Superman punch or the spear or something. And he gets dragged out of the ring by Rusev.
Yeah.
And then we go to the other side, and Sheamus is being saved. It looks like he's being saved by Barrett and Del Rio.
Yeah. It makes sense to me because they're saving him because Rusev didn't do anything. He just pulled Reigns out of the ring. Next move is Reigns knocks Rusev on his ass, then goes back out to Sheamus. So they're
preemptively putting the ring in between.
Yeah, they're making their huddle so that.
Yeah. So technically, because Rusev touched Roman Reigns first, this is technically a disqualification on Sheamus, giving Roman Reigns the win. But because it's a disqualification, Sheamus keeps the championship.
On a side note of, thinking of what they should have done ahead of time, is they needed to plan for this whole thing to work out that frickin' Rusev should have come out and hit Sheamus.
Yeah.
Just come out and just socked him once and got Roman Reigns disqualified. Then the Authority would have got everything they wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody would be getting title matches.
Instead, we had...
It'd be a really boring pay-per-view.
We had Del Rio beat Goldust earlier, and we had Rusev on Miz TV.
Yeah.
He would lose to Ryback because he's reunited with Lana, and instead of...
And it feels so good.
Instead of trying to instead of worrying about the count-out and worrying about the match, he went to check on Lana, so Ryback got the win. But now we have them all backing up Sheamus, and Sheamus reveals that we have the League of Nations.
Yeah, and so I want to get into my superstar power theory here.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Because we always hear, this person has the star power to be champion. This person has the star power to main event at WrestleMania. This person has the star power to wrestle Taker at WrestleMania. And we all know Sheamus does not have the star power to be champion. That's one of our big issues with it, is he's boring and he has no star power. My theory is that star power is a numerical thing that can be measured, and if you just throw enough people into a group, they will then have the star power to be main eventers.
Yeah. I totally believe that. I think that is...
NWO, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Nexus.
There you go. The core.
The Nexus on a thing, though, is you realize the reason that the Nexus fell apart so fast is they're immediately, let's put Nexus against a group of 7 super established superstars, including John Cena and Bret Hart.
Right.
Yeah. Edge and Jericho.
Yeah.
They're they're and our star power equals one of you guys.
Yeah.
So most of us are gonna fall into obscurity. One of us might win King of the Ring.
Hey.
So this is just something I'm gonna keep in my mind going forward with other groups.
Okay, so this whole issue, we get Usos and Dean Ambrose come out to try and back up Roman Reigns, but this all leads to an 8-man tag match at the end. which is, interesting, but it's, again, an impromptu match that we probably should have had some sort of establishment towards.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
I mean, it was fine. It was good, but...
Yeah. And not only that, but then we start the match impromptu.
Yeah.
The New Day joins the League of Nations, making it a 7-on-4
And I call
handicap
it
match.
the League of Nations.
The new League of Days. The new League of National Holidays.
Nations. New Nations.
That's the New Nations Domination.
Oh, shit! That's what this is.
The League of Nations of Dominations.
No,
somebody turn that into an app game.
It probably is.
Alright.
This was a fun, you and I were talking about, we realized how much we like groups in wrestling. Stable warfare is fantastic.
Because I like Barrett, and I like Rusev a little less, but I still like Rusev. I don't care about Del Rio and WWE, and I do not care about Sheamus. You put all four of these guys together, and I'm sold.
And he kind of gives a shit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this works. I mean, it's not the best, but it works.
It's more so yes, Rusev and Barrett are doing it, and hey, cool, Del Rio and Sheamus. Or whatever. But, no,
Can I say I have a gripe about the timing that this is taking place in?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
My theory here is Survivor Series had 2 Survivor Series matches
That didn't make
that have no
sense.
other than the fact that a couple of them you had rivals on opposite sides of teams.
That was about it.
There was no story behind any of this. Nothing like this. If you go back and you watch Survivor Series of past years, especially the earlier you go, every Survivor Series match came out of a storyline between the team captains.
Right.
This just seemed like it would have been the perfect fit to start 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And have fucking Team Sheamus versus Team Roman Reigns, having these 4 guys. 4 versus 4.
And
Roman
you know
Reigns,
what?
the Usos, Dean Ambrose.
Would have worked. Because I was just thinking, well, obviously they couldn't do that because Sheamus wasn't champ yet, and
the tournament was going and all that stuff.
Midway through the tournament, have Sheamus come out and just be go home show. Have Sheamus come out and just announce, I'm cashing in Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Right
and
now.
there's no champion, so I get the belt.
Yeah.
What? Why wasn't that a thing? Oh!
That seems like what? Sheamus seems like an idiot for not doing that in the first
I am
place.
so... Oh my god!
He could have been
me off
He could
so
have been
much.
a champion for an extra 3 weeks if he would have just come out right after Seth got hurt.
Motherfucker! Oh my god, I'm so
the Authority comes out to announce the tournament, and then Sheamus' music hits. And then he's like, hold on a minute, fella.
Oh my god.
And then we could have started the build to this.
Let's pretend that happened. Let's pretend that all happened.
Also, that would have been a way that would have pissed me off less for Sheamus to have won the title.
I'm gonna say we just watched Survivor Series. We didn't watch Raw. This is our Survivor Series review now.
No.
Yes, it is.
But I'm going to say, what I'm afraid of is this is going to culminate in, a bragging rights kind of match.
Yeah.
Where it's, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Each team had, 6 or 7 guys on it.
Right.
Kind of thing. And I'm just
It was Survivor Series .2.
Yeah.
2.0, I mean.
Point two.
Well,
It was
point
less
two.
than a Survivor Series.
Well, it was, because there was only one match and it meant less.
And it was bragging rights. Let's be honest.
Did it for 2 years and then stopped.
Yeah.
But, so I'm thinking okay, well, obviously, if you're going to have the League of Nations and the New Day, the League of Nations, 7
League
people.
of New National Holidays.
You need to have the Lucha Dragons and Ryback be
Yeah.
the counter to the New Day.
Yeah.
And have that big thing. Unfortunately, the idea for that is that has to be a pay-per-view match.
Right.
For that many people. So, it's definitely not going to happen at TLC.
Yeah.
It shouldn't happen at the Rumble.
No.
Which means...
Fastlane?
in February. But my problem with that is that means this storyline has to continue all the way to almost fucking WrestleMania.
I don't think this particular storyline is going to continue until Mania. I think it's going to end much sooner than Mania.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is Sheamus is going to lose the title soon. I'm thinking at the pay-per-view. I'm keeping my fingers crossed at the pay-per-view.
He's thinking and hoping and praying and sacrificing to any god that he can think of.
I have killed like 8 goats in the last 3 days. My house is getting so messy with goat blood. And altars. I'm running out of room to put altars. But for real...
he did that.
That really happened.
That's not his character saying
This shirt was white.
That shirt used to be this shirt.
Yeah. But,
oh my god.
no, what I think needs to happen is Sheamus needs to lose the belt and come WrestleMania time. They need to keep the League of Nations together, but out of the title picture, and have them have a storyline going towards WrestleMania that puts them in an 8-man tag at Mania against 4 random people, just off the top of my head, saying the Usos and the Lucha Dragons.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There was a few other things that happened. We had
Or surprise, surprise, you could face turn the Wyatt family.
Yeah, maybe.
And have that happen. Wyatt family versus the League of Nations.
Sure.
Let's have the League of Nations versus all of them swamp boobies.
You know, we had a little bit more in the Tyler Breeze, Dolph Ziggler. They're now 1-1. We had a few other little random segments, but this League of Nations thing, I'm definitely intrigued. I want to see it continue as a thing, but I agree, not in the title picture. Like this is a good basis for it, but let's put it in a different direction because we don't need Sheamus holding on to the title that long.
Yeah.
So, overall thoughts and feelings after having said this. Where are you hoping, like, the next week into TLC goes?
I put it out there when we were talking about the Dudley segment, the ECW thing. I just hope that we can get Paul Heyman to come out and do a promo with Bray Wyatt next week.
All right. Final thoughts.
Do we have any idea where Raw's going to be next week? I felt like they announced it.
I have no idea. It was in Pittsburgh tonight. I have no idea where they're going to be next week.
Yeah, I would like to see another ECW guy show up. Maybe make it 4-on-4.
Even up the odds.
Or have Dreamer just stick around. And
I definitely hope Tommy sticks around because he's my favorite guy from ECW. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely more invested by about 90%.
Yeah.
Than where I was at the end of this time last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raw.
Thank you for getting your shit together.
Thank you, and thank you everybody in the wrestling community for voicing your opinions.
Yeah. Thank you, Foley.
Everyone from fans to other wrestlers to people who are WWE Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Talking about, that Raw is becoming tedious and boring to watch. Because everything has become so stale and formulaic, and it doesn't have any of that, go out there and let people do their own shtick, except for the New Day.
Yeah.
And look how good the New Day is doing. Everybody should be taking after the New Day's example and trying to turn every segment into their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt is what went on with the Dudley Boyz and the Wyatts segment.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, hey, we got creative control of this segment. Let's fucking amp it up. Let's bring in tables, 100 weapons, and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, and then the way to make every other segment better tonight was just throw New Day in it.
Because that happened 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Thanks for watching the Raw review. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Click all those links down into the description.
Goes way. So many syllables.
Click all the links down in the description, like the Facebook, the Twitter, the Tumblr, the Instagram, the Reddit. both the emails. Check out that podcast on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you're on the podcast, check us out on YouTube because you get to see all the pictures and you get to see this awesome ring that we have set up.
Yeah.
As our new set.
The Dudley Boyz and Tommy Dreamer.
The Dudley Boyz and Tommy Dreamer beating up Luke Harper.
Tommy Doodley.
Check out that playlist too because there's gonna be more videos coming up.
Yeah.
We're possibly gonna have a top 5.
Yeah, we're not gonna make any promises.
That might happen.
I'm gonna make a promise right now.
What's that promise?
I'm gonna do this.
Damn it! I was trying to block it because I knew you were gonna fucking do that.
Well, you waited way too long to try and start blocking.
Also, we're gonna have a midweek wrap up. We'll have a SmackDown rundown, and we'll have some indie news as well. So be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing, liking, and reblogging all those videos. And we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.